There comes a moment in every person's life when they pause and wonder why the journey feels so heavy, why progress seems slow, and why the path ahead looks uncertain. What most people don't realize is that life isn't punishing them. Life is preparing them. Every success story, every transformation, every breakthrough is shaped by 4 unavoidable stages that no one can skip and no one can outrun. These stages are not obstacles, they are invitations. Invitations to rise, to evolve, and to become the person you were meant to be long before the world told you who you should be. The first stage is the stage of discomfort. This is where life shakes you awake. You feel stuck, restless, or unfulfilled. Something inside you whispers, there is more than this, and that whisper is not complaining, it is calling. Discomfort is the birthplace of growth, is life's gentle nudge that says, wake up, it's time to move. Most people mistake discomfort for defeat. But truly, it is the beginning of a new becoming. If you feel uncomfortable right now, it simply means your current chapter is too small for the person you are destined to be. The next stage is the stage of resistance. Here, life tests your commitment. You take one step forward and fear pulls you 2 steps back. You try to change, but old habits, old patterns, old voices insist on staying. This is where many people turn around because the resistance feels like a sign to quit. But resistance is the clearest proof that something powerful is forming inside you. Nothing grows without resistance. Not the body, not the mind, not the soul. Every wave of doubt, every moment of hesitation, every fear that rises is simply the old version of you fighting for survival. And you must decide which one deserves to live, who you were or who you are becoming. Then comes the stage of alignment. This is where the fog begins to lift. You start to understand your purpose, your values, your direction. You stop forcing and start flowing. You stop chasing approval and begin choosing authenticity. You begin to let go of the noise that never belonged to you. In alignment, you realize that success is not something you seek. It is something you become. The world outside shifts when the world inside aligns. This stage is quiet, but it is powerful. It teaches you that clarity is not loud, clarity is calm. And finally, you reach the stage of breakthrough, the moment when every tear, every setback, every struggle reveals its meaning. Suddenly, the path makes sense. The work pays off. The opportunities arrive. The blessings multiply. Not because you were lucky, but because you endured, because you trusted the process even when you didn't understand it. Breakthrough is never an accident. It is earned through patience, courage, and consistency. And it always arrives right after the moment you thought you couldn't go on. These 4 stages shape every destiny. They look different for each person, but the journey is the same. Discomfort wakes you. Resistance strengthens you. Alignment guides you. Breakthrough rewards you. And the beauty of life is that you will walk through these stages again and again, each time rising higher, seeing clearer and growing deeper. Success is not a destination. It is a cycle of becoming. And if you honor these stages instead of resisting them, life will open doors you never imagined possible. So when life feels hard, when everything inside you wants to give up, remember, you are not being broken. You are being built. You are not being tested. You are being trained. And every stage you walk through is shaping the strongest, wisest, boldest version of you. Your breakthrough is not ahead of you. It is within you. And once you rise into it, nothing and no one can take it away. Discomfort is often misunderstood because most people see it as a warning sign instead of recognizing it as the first doorway to growth. When life begins to feel tight, heavy, or unsettled, it is not trying to push you down, and it is trying to pull you forward. Discomfort arrives the moment your soul outgrows the life you are living, and even though it feels uneasy, it is actually your inner voice whispering that you are meant for something bigger, something truer, and something more aligned with who you are becoming. Many people run from discomfort and they try to silence that restless feeling with distractions, habits, or routines that keep them in the same place. But the truth is that every dream, every goal, and every version of success is born when you allow yourself to sit with the discomfort long enough to understand what it is trying to tell you. Growth cannot happen in comfort because comfort feeds the familiar, and the familiar does not ask you to stretch, to evolve, or to rise beyond your current limits. When you feel uncomfortable, it means you have stayed too long in a chapter that no longer reflects your potential. Maybe it is a job that drains your spirit, or a relationship that no longer nourishes your heart, or a lifestyle that suffocates the person you want to be. Discomfort begins as a whisper, a quiet sense that something is off, but if you ignore it long enough, it becomes louder, and eventually it becomes impossible to silence. That discomfort is not chaos, it is guidance. It is the gentle push that says your old life cannot carry the weight of the new person you are trying to become. It is not there to punish you, it is there to prepare you. Discomfort shows up when your life is ready to expand, and expansion always starts with pressure. Just like a seed must break to grow, you must feel the tension of change before becoming who you are meant to be. Discomfort also teaches you self-honesty because it forces you to confront the truth you have been avoiding. It asks you to admit what is not working, what you have outgrown, and what you no longer want to settle for. It asks you to face the fears that keep you playing small and to question the beliefs that limit your progress. When you embrace discomfort instead of resisting it, you gain clarity about who you are and what you want. You begin to see that discomfort is not the enemy, stagnation is. Remaining comfortable might feel safe in the moment, but it slowly dims your spirit, weakens your ambition, and shrinks your dreams until you barely recognize yourself. The most powerful individuals are not the ones who avoid discomfort. They are the ones who welcome it as a sign of transformation. They understand that discomfort is a signal, a message, and a turning point. It tells you that change is necessary, that growth is happening, and that something inside you is ready to rise. When you learn to read discomfort as a guide instead of a threat, everything in your life begins to shift. You stop asking why things feel difficult and start asking what this moment is preparing you for. You begin to trust that the uneasy moments are shaping your character, sharpening your strength, and building the resilience you need for the next chapter. So when discomfort shows up in your life, do not run from it. Instead, pause, breathe, and listen. It is the first stage of every meaningful transformation, and it is showing you that your story is ready to evolve. If you honor this stage and lean into it with courage, patience, and faith, you will step into a version of yourself that you never imagined possible. Discomfort is not the beginning of your struggle, it is the beginning of your becoming. Resistance appears in every journey the moment you decide to grow, change, or rise beyond the version of yourself that has felt familiar for too long. It shows up in quiet thoughts, in heavy doubts, in the sudden fear that tells you to stop before you even begin. Resistance is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is a sign that you are stepping into something new, something unknown, and something that requires a stronger, braver version of you. Whenever you choose to evolve, the old parts of you hold on tightly because change threatens the patterns that kept you safe, even if they no longer serve you. This is why resistance feels so powerful. It fights to keep you in the comfort of what you know, even if what you know is the very thing holding you back. Every time you take a step toward growth, resistance pulls at your confidence and tries to convince you that you are not ready. It whispers that you might fail, that you might fall, that you might embarrass yourself, or that the journey will be too difficult. It creates delays, distractions, and excuses. It reminds you of past mistakes and magnifies your uncertainty until you begin questioning your own potential. But resistance is not there to defeat you. It is there to test your commitment. It is the pressure you must push through to reach the next stage of your evolution. Nothing strong is built without resistance, and nothing meaningful grows without challenge. Just as a muscle strengthens only when pushed against weight, the mind and spirit strengthen only when pushed against fear and doubt. Resistance also reveals the patterns that have controlled your life. It brings to the surface every habit, belief, and limitation that has held you captive. When you try to change, those patterns rise up like old shadows demanding to be acknowledged. This is why resistance feels emotional, mental, and even physical. You might feel tired, overwhelmed, or confused. You might feel torn between what you want and what you fear. But this tug of war is a sign that something inside you is shifting. It is the inner battle between who you were and who you are becoming. To rise, you must choose the version of you that wants to live, not the version that wants to hide. Resistance is the border between the life you have and the life you want. Most people stop at this border because they mistake resistance for a barrier. But resistance is simply the doorway, and only those who walk through it experience transformation. When resistance feels strongest, it means you are closest to a breakthrough. The old version of you is fighting for its final moments, while the new version of you is preparing to emerge. This struggle is not easy, but it is sacred. It is the proof that something powerful is unfolding inside you. To overcome resistance, you do not need to be fearless. You only need to take one step at a time, even when your voice shakes, even when your thoughts argue, and even when your heart feels unsure. Consistency weakens resistance. Courage dissolves it. Patience outgrows it. The moment you stop believing the lies resistance tells you, you begin to discover a strength that you never knew you had. You begin to see that resistance is not the enemy, but the challenge designed to prepare you for your next level. So when resistance rises, do not back away, lean into it. Recognize it as the sign that you are on the right path. Let it teach you what you need to release, what you need to build, and what you need to become. Because every time you push through resistance, you rise into a version of yourself that is stronger, clearer, and more unstoppable than ever before. Alignment is the moment in your journey when everything inside you begins to shift from confusion to clarity and from pressure to purpose. It is the stage where you finally recognize that your life was never meant to be lived by imitation, expectation, or obligation. It is meant to be lived by intention. Alignment happens when you stop forcing yourself into spaces that do not fit your spirit and stop chasing approval from people who do not understand your vision. It begins quietly, almost gently, like a soft inner knowing that whispers whenever something is right for you and whenever something is not. When you choose alignment, you are choosing to become honest with yourself in ways you may have never dared to before. Alignment is not about perfection, it is about truth. It requires you to look at your life with clarity and admit what feels heavy, what feels false, and what feels out of sync with your heart. You begin to recognize that certain people drain your energy, that certain habits weaken your confidence, and that certain environments suppress your voice. You stop pretending that everything is fine when it's not. You stop forcing connections, commitments, and responsibilities that were never meant to be yours. And with every release, you create space for something better, something lighter, and something deeply aligned with who you are becoming. Alignment teaches you that your inner world creates your outer world. When your thoughts, beliefs, and intentions are in harmony, your actions become powerful and your results become meaningful. You stop moving through life blindly and begin moving through life intentionally. You start making choices that honor your peace, your purpose, and your values. You stop chasing what looks good to others and begin choosing what feels right to you. This is the shift that changes everything. When you are aligned, your decisions become clearer, your relationships become healthier, and your path becomes brighter because you are no longer fighting against yourself. In alignment, You learn to listen to your intuition. You learn to trust the quiet voice within you even when the world around you disagrees. That inner voice becomes your compass. It guides you toward opportunities meant for you and away from situations that would harm you. It tells you when to stay, when to go, when to wait, and when to rise. Alignment strengthens your connection to your purpose and helps you recognize the difference between what is temporary and what is meaningful. You begin to understand that everything that left your life was clearing the path for everything that was meant to enter. Alignment also requires patience because it is not built in a single moment. Is built through small choices, small habits, and small acts of honesty that accumulate into powerful transformation. You align every time you choose peace over chaos, every time you choose growth over fear, and every time you choose authenticity over approval. With each step, your life begins to take shape in a way that feels natural and true. You feel lighter because you are no longer carrying the weight of pretending. You feel stronger because you are no longer at war with your own soul. The beauty of alignment is that it turns your journey into flow instead of force. You stop trying to push doors open that were never meant for you. You stop exhausting yourself in places where your spirit has already outgrown the space. You start walking toward possibilities that feel aligned with your purpose. You start attracting relationships, opportunities, and experiences that mirror your growth rather than your wounds. Alignment is where life begins to feel meaningful because you are finally moving in harmony with your truth. When you reach this stage, you understand that success is not something you chase. It is something you become. And the more aligned you are with your purpose, your values, and your truth, the more effortlessly your life begins to unfold. Alignment is the quiet power that turns confusion into clarity, effort into ease, and dreams into reality. Breakthrough is the moment when everything you have struggled through begins to reveal its purpose. It is not a sudden miracle or an accident. It is the result of every quiet effort, every act of courage, and every moment of endurance that came before it. People often believe breakthroughs arrive out of nowhere, but the truth is that they show up only after you have walked through discomfort, pushed through resistance, and aligned yourself with your truth. Breakthrough is the reward for staying committed, even when the path felt uncertain, and even when your progress seemed invisible. Breakthrough does not happen when life becomes easy. It happens when you become stronger than the challenges that once intimidated you. It happens when your mindset shifts, when your patterns change, and when your faith becomes greater than your fear. It arrives on the other side of the moments when you almost gave up, the moments when you felt tired, discouraged, or unsure of your direction. It shows up when you keep moving anyway. Every setback, every delay, and every moment of doubt builds the foundation for the breakthrough that eventually comes. Breakthrough also requires patience because growth rarely follows a straight line. Sometimes you feel like you are progressing only to face a setback that sends you spinning backward. Sometimes you take 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. Sometimes your efforts seem unnoticed, unappreciated, or ineffective. But breakthrough is created in these exact moments. It is created in the silence when no one sees your struggle. It is created in your persistence when no one applauds your effort. It is created in your strength when no one realizes how much you carry. Breakthrough is the fruit of everything you do when the world assumes you are standing still. Breakthrough demands that you believe in your journey even before you see the results. It asks you to trust the process, to trust the timing, and to trust that everything happening in your life is preparing you for the moment when everything changes. Breakthrough does not arrive when you feel ready. It arrives when you have grown into the version of yourself who can handle the blessing, the opportunity, or the responsibility that comes next. And that growth often happens in the dark, in the quiet and in the moments that feel the hardest. Breakthrough is also a shift in identity. It is the moment when you stop seeing yourself as the person who doubts and start seeing yourself as the person who can. You begin to break free from limitations you once accepted. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that no longer serve your purpose. You stop carrying the weight of old stories that never belonged to you. Breakthrough is not just about changing your circumstances. It is about changing your belief in what is possible for you. Once your belief changes, your actions change, and your life begins to rise in ways you never imagined. The beauty of breakthrough is that it arrives gently, yet powerfully. Sometimes it comes as an opportunity. Sometimes it comes as clarity. Sometimes it comes as healing. Sometimes it comes as a realization that you are no longer who you used to be. You feel stronger. You feel wiser. You feel more capable. You feel more ready to step into the life you once feared. Breakthrough is the moment you look back and realize that every challenge was shaping you. Every delay was protecting you. Every hardship preparing you. And when your breakthrough arrives, it does more than change your life. It changes you. It teaches you that you were never defeated. You were developing. It shows you that you were never stuck. You were strengthening. So it reminds you that everything went you through brought you to the moment when your effort meets opportunity and your patience meets reward. Breakthrough is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a new chapter where you finally rise into the person you were always meant to become. Every stage of your life's you for the next one, and nothing you have experienced is ever wasted, even if it felt painful, confusing, or unfair in the moment. Growth does not happen in isolation. It unfolds through seasons, through lessons, and through challenges that work together to shape you into a stronger and wiser version of yourself. Every moment that broke you and every moment that healed you has a place in your story. Even the experiences you wish never happened are silently building qualities within you that you will need later. Life never gives you a moment that is meaningless. It gives you moments that make you. Sometimes you look back at your past and question why certain things had to happen the way they did. You wonder why a door closed when you felt ready for it. You wonder why a relationship ended when you prayed it would last. You wonder why an opportunity slipped away right when you thought it was finally yours. In those moments, you do not see the purpose. You only see the pain. But with time, you begin to understand that every event was preparing you for something bigger than you could see. The rejection taught you strength. The heartbreak taught you self-worth. The delay taught you patience. The struggle taught you resilience. Nothing was wasted. You learned through experience what no teacher can explain. You learn through loss what no comfort can provide. You learn through challenge what no easy path can teach. Every stage is a lesson. Every stage strengthens you from the inside. Even the mistakes you made were preparing you for wisdom you could not have gained any other way. They taught you what to value, what to release, and what to protect. They taught you to recognize your patterns, to understand your limits, and to honor your boundaries. They taught you how to rise, how to rebuild, and how to believe in yourself again. Life is not random. It is intentional. The moments when you felt stuck were developing your patience. The moments when you felt lost were shaping your direction. The moments when you felt alone were building your inner strength. The moments when you felt unsure were strengthening your faith. You were being prepared for rooms you have not entered yet and opportunities you have not seen yet. You were being shaped into the version of yourself who can handle your future with confidence, clarity, and courage. When you understand that every stage prepares you for the next, you stop resenting the past and start appreciating its purpose. You begin to see that every challenge had a reason. You realize that the timing of your journey has always been perfect, even when it felt delayed. You understand that everything that left your life made space for something better. You learn to trust the process because you see how every chapter connects to the next one like pieces of a puzzle that only makes sense when viewed as a whole. This understanding brings peace. It brings meaning to your pain and power to your healing. You stop questioning yourself. You stop doubting your path. You stop comparing your journey to others. You begin to honor your story because you finally realize that you needed every experience to become the person you are now. Nothing was pointless. Nothing was accidental. You were being guided, shaped, strengthened, and prepared. So when you step into your future, carry this truth with you. Everything you have lived through has trained you for the blessings, opportunities, and responsibilities that are coming. You are not behind. You are becoming. And every stage, every season, and every struggle has worked together to prepare you for the extraordinary life waiting ahead. Life's toughest moments often feel like punishment, but in truth, they are preparation for the stronger version of you that is waiting to emerge. When everything around you feels heavy and nothing seems to make sense, it is easy to believe that life is working against you. But the moments that challenge you are the same moments that shape your courage, strengthen your spirit, and deepen your understanding of who you are. You do not grow only through joy. You grow through struggle, through confusion, and through the times when you feel like you are walking in the dark with no clear direction. These moments do not break you. They build you into someone who can carry more, handle more, and become more. The toughest moments force you to confront your deepest fears. The problem is that they hold up a mirror to the parts of your life that you have avoided, ignored, or tolerated for too long when life becomes difficult. It pushes you to examine what is real, what is meaningful, and what is no longer serving your growth. You begin to see what needs to change, what needs to end, and what needs to be healed. These moments demand honesty. They demand courage. They demand a willingness to face the truth even when the truth is uncomfortable. And in that honesty, you begin to uncover the strength that has always lived within you. Hardships teach you things that comfort never can. They teach you resilience. They teach you patience. They teach you how to rise after falling and how to rebuild after breaking. They teach you that you can survive moments that once felt impossible. Every challenge you overcome becomes proof that you are stronger than you once believed. You start to understand that even when life feels overwhelming, you are capable of navigating the storm. You learn that your strength does not come from avoiding difficulty, but from facing it with a determined heart and unshakable spirit. Life's toughest moments also shape your gratitude. When you go through darkness, you learn to appreciate the light. When you endure loneliness, you learn to value connection. When you experience loss, you learn to cherish what remains. These moments sharpen your awareness and deepen your appreciation for the simple blessings you once overlooked. They remind you that life is fragile, temporary, and precious. And through that awareness, you begin to live more intentionally, love more deeply, and grow more authentically. The struggles you face are not there to stop you from becoming your best self. They are there to reveal your best self. They peel back the layers of doubt, fear, and insecurity that have covered your true potential. They push you beyond your limits so you can discover the power you never knew you had. They stretch your heart and strengthen your character. And even though the journey through these moments may feel painful, the growth that comes from them leaves you wiser, braver, and more grounded than before. When you look back at the toughest chapters of your life, you begin to realize that they were turning points. They were the moments that pushed you into growth you would never have chosen voluntarily. They were the moments that forced you you to evolve into someone more capable of handling your destiny. Nothing about those moments was easy, but everything about them was meaningful. They shaped your purpose. They strengthened your identity. They carved out the path that led you to the person you are today. So when you find yourself in a moment that feels unbearable, remember that is not the end. It is the shaping. It is the preparing. It is the breaking open of the old so the new can rise. Trust that the toughest moments are not destroying you. They are transforming you. And the strength you gain from them will carry you into a future where you stand taller, speak louder, and live with a power that only comes from surviving what once seemed impossible. Every journey of growth is shaped by the stages you cannot skip. Discomfort wakes you, resistance challenges you, alignment guides you, breakthrough transforms you. Every experience prepares you, and even the hardest moments strengthen you in ways you cannot yet see. These stages are not punishments, they're invitations. Invitations to rise higher, to dig deeper, and to discover the power that has lived within you all along. Nothing in your life has been random. Nothing has been wasted. Every moment has been molding you into the person you were born to become. When you understand this, you stop fearing the process and start trusting it. You stop seeing your struggles as signs of failure and start recognizing them as signs of transformation. You begin to walk with confidence, knowing that every step is leading you toward a stronger, wiser, and more aligned version of yourself. Success is not the destination at the end of the journey. Success is the courage to keep moving through every stage, every lesson, and every challenge with faith in what awaits you. So as you continue your journey, carry this truth with you. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. And life is shaping you into someone extraordinary. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep honoring the stages that are preparing you. Your breakthrough is not just ahead of you. It is within you, waiting for the moment you finally step into the fullness of who you are meant to be.